Hey, welcome. Taking a little break from anime today. We're going to be featuring another threezero sponsored review, this one based on comics, more specifically Valiant Comics. We'll be taking a look at the FigZero S Bloodshot figure. Bloodshot is actually having I believe a 30th anniversary this year since the character's creation back in 1992. He's gone through a lot of iterations since then. If you're not familiar with Bloodshot, the background, the story is kind of similar to RoboCop or Wolfenstein in the sense that a character was killed or resurrected through a means of a super secret program and then put back out on the battlefield or in whatever mercenary instance he is. But he's resurrected through nanites, hence the bloodshot eyes and the little emblem on his chest. But this guy is in the FigZero S line, which is a little different from the regular FigZero line in terms of scale. Those are 6 scale. This guy's going to be 12 scale. Still keeping in that great fabric engineering they have for clothing or other items, and then all that amazing articulation as well. But just a little drop in size that we've seen between DLXs and MDLXs. When you add a letter, you tend to drop a scale essentially. Looking at these figures of Bloodshot in the past, we've seen a McFarlane figure, but that was more based on the Vin Diesel actor visage for the character than the comics version. There was also a TB League 6 scale figure of Bloodshot a while ago. There really hasn't been anything in a while, so I guess it's kind of timely with his 30th anniversary as well. But let's take a look at the box here. You can see it's just a little different than some of the other characters we've seen, the other box work we've seen, particularly in the FigZero line. There's no flap on this one, just a window box in the front with the artwork. And of course on the sides we see a little bit of the character shots again. Same with the back, just some action shots of the figure. Nothing much else going to it. It's very simplistic design. You just see that Valiant logo on the front. But you know, these are not really meant to be displayed in box. So why don't we crack this figure open and check out what's on the inside. So onto our unboxing portion of the video. A very simple flap on the side here, where we just had one little piece of tape we cut open. And then we just have a plastic tray, which we see consistent through all the threezero figures. Nothing else in there. So we have our instructions here. And there's another little bonus in here. There's a print edition of a NFT gift comic that came out in the past. So this is the only way you can get this mini comic of Bloodshot here in physical form, because it was, like I said previously, just an NFT digital version only. So that's a fun little bonus edition there. Then of course we always get that warranty card and then instructions for the character. I don't think there's going to be much in the way of instructions. There's no batteries or anything like that, so it's just very simple. Same with the packaging here. It's just pressure fitted over the accessories. So everything kind of popped out on me here. So we have our figure looking pretty good here, and we'll just give you a close-up so you can check out the detail on this guy. So Bloodshot here, he's going to feature 39 points of articulation, so quite a bit for something in this small 6-inch size. You can see some great paint applications on him. He's really got that comic look going on the, you could tell just by looking at the different contours on his chest here. Of course, he's got that dark nanite spot coming through really clearly, same with those bloodshot eyes. Great detailing on the hair there, on the back as well. Tight paint applications all over his pants and his belt. Down on his knee pads and the boots. You could even see the lace work. Really great paint, really nice design on something this tiny. Still has that big FigZero detail despite the fact that he's a FigZero S. So looking at his articulation, he's got that double elbow. He's got that great shoulder articulation there. Now there's a little bit more agency on the shoulders. There's a little tiny piece here that comes out a little bit, and this probably lets you get some cross shoulder movement, across the body here, which is tough in the 6-inch scale. We've pointed out in the past there's usually obstructions because the chest doesn't have any give to it like it naturally would in this scale. But this one does. He has that extra articulation point there between the shoulders and like the rotator cuff area. Of course, you could bend them at the hips and at the solar plexus here at the core. So he's got that additional articulation there. Great joint articulation from legs. Get those all the way up here, and you can bend the knee in 2 places. Yep, double jointed knees, and then of course the ankles. Nice rotation on there as well. So yeah, all those points of articulation, almost 40 there. It's great. You can really see that come through. Test the center of gravity here and see if he's easy to stand up. So no issues there. So in terms of his accessories, he's got a bunch of weapons here. He's got a submachine gun, looks like a MP5 here. He's got a handgun, looks like a Desert Eagle maybe. A semi-automatic rifle, maybe an M4 here. And he has a katana sword here in a scabbard. So this comes out. This is really nice, functional. He's got a weapon harness right here. This is fabric. This is not plastic. It's a rubbery, stretchy fabric here. So that's nice there. And then he's got a fabric shirt, if you so desire to not have him topless the whole time. It's got some give to it. It's a stretchy shirt, so you don't have to struggle too much putting it on. But that's cool. And then he's got that little spot sticking through the shirt there. And then he's got a couple pairs of hands. We've seen with threezero, they usually have fists, so he has fists here. And then they have a couple pairs of weapon holding hands. So his default is the open hands. And he has a pair of weapon holding hands, a pair of just fists with no weapon holding ability, and then a second pair of weapon holding hands, but this one has the finger in sort of that trigger position. So these are gun hands, so either dual or single wield for guns. And then these are going to be hands geared toward his katana here with a semicircle, but still closed around the fingers, so it should grip the weapon pretty well. So as always, we do our hand test to see how the figure fares in terms of switching the hands out. We'll start with the trigger hand here. So we do a little twist and a pull to see how this comes off. This one came off really easy, not like the anime hero ones we struggled with the other day. So we're just switching the hand here. And see, oh wow, that's just no force needed or whatever whatsoever. It just popped right in. That's great. I always appreciate seeing the hands. You don't have to struggle with them. Still has that joint movement there at the wrist. It's very stable. It's not coming out. So what the great hand system on this guy. We'll just pop a gun in here and see how that holds. Still there's a little give in the fingers, which is great because it's always hard maneuvering in a weapon. And he's able to hold that pistol really easily with his finger through the trigger guard there. And that wasn't too difficult at all to get him in there with the weapon and get some poses. So as always, we'll do a little montage here to show you what he looks like with an assortment of accessories and poses. And give you guys some more close-up shots. So now we're going to start off doing a little mix and match. So he has his guns, he has his sword. You can see him wearing the harness here where he has the scabbard in the back. So they just give you a lot of options between those weapon holding hands and the sword holding hands. And of course you could do the super popular dual wield. Every action hero needs to do dual wield weapons. Like you just need to. It's written down somewhere that you're not an action hero unless you're firing 2 guns at the same time. And you could just as easily mix it up and use 2 hands for a long gun and do a nice kneeling firing stance here. The 39 points of articulation really comes in handy and lets you achieve a variety of poses. If two-handed sword techniques are your thing, don't worry. threezero's got you covered there as well. With a little bit of posing, you can get that second hand on the bottom of the blade, plenty of room. And if you're looking for a sharp knight on the town, you could pop on that shirt. And here you can see his regular fist there getting a nice crossbody position. Shirt wasn't too difficult to get on. It's elastic, so you're able to kind of maneuver it around his arms and head to slide it into place. And I'm sure after you use it once or twice to get a little bit easy to maneuver, but it's a nice tight fit. It's not just flapping around, so the elastic's really useful when you're trying to maintain the look of natural clothing. So that's all for this guy. Really great looking figure. Looks like he's leaping right off those comic book pages with this great depth of color on this character and the shading. They did some really amazing design and engineering work on this 12 scale figure, where he still maintains that great level of detail despite being the smaller scale. Has the functional fabric accessories, has some great posing, those 39 points of articulation. Everything really shows in how they design this character. It's really impressive, despite being this scale, that he still has all the features of the larger scale characters. Really, I like this harness on him. Really great, functional, holds it really securely too. Just everything about him is really impressive. This is the first FigZero S figure we've seen, and yeah, I mean, if this is any indication of how those characters are made, they're made with love, and they're made with great attention to detail. So you get this guy, you get the comic that hasn't been physically released before, and you also get the assortment of accessories and clothing. So really nice. We'll have a link up for this guy. He should be coming out pretty soon, first quarter next year sometime. So we'll have the link for a couple fan channels where you can get them from. I think he sold out already through threezero. So if you want to pick them up, this guy up, if you're a fan of the Valiant Comics series, highly recommend them. Like I said, there hasn't been a lot out there in the market in terms of Bloodshot characters. The most recent one, I believe, was the Vin Diesel figure. So if you want something more true to the comic look, this is your only option, at least in this scale, and currently. So totally worth it, though. Check this guy out. I'm pretty sure you'll appreciate him on your shelf or wherever you display your comic characters. So that's all we have for now. We'll have some more surprises for you in the near future. As always, like, subscribe, and follow, and we'll see you next time.